like the sport of golf. That's what makes Katie Betsworth's accomplishment of making the South Dakota High School State Golf Tournament as a 7th grader so impressive. But to show you how impressive it is, I stepped up to the tee and challenged Betsworth to 9 holes. After I sent my opening drive into the drink, Betsworth sent hers right down the middle of the fairway. But that's to be expected. The stakes here are nothing compared to taking the tee box at the state tournament.
The nerves were kind of hitting. It was kind of nerve-wracking, but after, it's just the first tee shot nerves, and then after, I'm fine.
Those nerves of steel held strong through the first round at state for the about-to-be 8th grader from Dakota Valley. Around 184 had Betsworth at 4th heading into the second round, and the Panther had the luck of the draw.
The second day, I ended up knowing all the girls, and it was actually turned out to be fun.
It's real easy to have fun when you're playing well, and Betsworth did exactly that on day 2 in Rapid City, shooting an 80 and moving up the leaderboard to 3rd place. And in case you were wondering about our little competition at the Sioux City Country Club, Betsworth was well in the lead. So this quickly just turned into a conversation about the finer points of the game.
I do not like sand shots at all.
Oh, I hate them. At the Sioux City Country Club, Jason Moeller, KTIV SportsFource. Betsworth told us her goal is to continue making the state tournament throughout her high school career.